of patriots,
That's what he
including
would call 'em.
Representatives Mike Collins. Where's Mike? Where's Mike? Thank you, Mike. Great person. Thank you very much. And also Andrew Clyde and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Thank you for those endorsements. Thank you very much for those endorsements, and we love you people. That's a great group of patriots. And speaking of patriots, I met his father. I love his father, too. His father was really the man that gave him those genes, according to the world, but I think the mother probably had an even bigger impact. Burt Jones, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. And comes from an incredible family, but Burt's done a fantastic job. And he's going places. I've been saying that for a long time, and so far I've been right. He's doing very popular and doing a great job as Lieutenant Governor, Public Service Commissioner. The first person in this state to endorse me, Bubba McDonald. Bubba.
Bubba?
Where's Bubba? There he is. Thank you, Bubba. And I like your jacket, Bubba. I also want to thank very much. He's always been there, a real powerful, strong person and a man who loves your state and loves our country. State Senator Brandon Beach.
Here, I tweeted out that I'm live, by the way. I'm live and alive. Here's the blast off
Great
tweet.
guy. For 7
Let the
years,
people know
we've
that
been
we're live
engaged
and
in an
alive.
epic struggle to rescue our country from the sinister forces within who hate it. They hate our country and who want to destroy it. Can be no other reason. These forces are far stronger than Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran, all put together. Think of that. From within is worse than from without. Because the right leader in America, if you have that leader, you're going to have no problems with those countries. We had no problems. We got it all straightened out. They understood. Would have never, ever had the problem with Russia, Ukraine. China right now is looking like they're going to do something, and they would have never even talked about it. Right now, however, they're putting us in the most dangerous position in the history of our country, and that's to a large extent because of the kind of weaponry we're talking about. Together, we stand up to the globalists, we stand up to Marxists, we stand up to the rhinos. You know, the rhinos are pretty bad. Because with the rhinos, you don't exactly know where they're coming from. The others you know, but with the rhinos, sometimes you find out. And we got to stand up to the rhinos. Communists and environmental extremists. You know, you have environmental extremists, too. We stand up to the open borders fanatics, the radical left Democrats, their lawless partisan prosecutors, the prosecutors. Every time I fly over a blue state, I get a subpoena. We want him before the grand jury. And we stand up to the fake news media, which is seriously bad. And on November 5th, 2024, we're going to stand up to the corrupt political establishment. We're going to evict a totally corrupt president, Joe Biden, from the White House. And we're going to finish the job that we started, the most successful presidency. Thank you. And I think, as everybody in this absolutely packed House knows, I've put everything on the line, and I will never yield. I never yield. I will never be deterred. I will never stop fighting for you. I didn't need this. I had a great life. People said, would you do it again? The answer is yes, because we're going to make America great again. We had it there. And then bad things happened. Bad things happened with an election, right? Bad things happened. But we're going to make it great like never before. I really believe that. With your vote, we will take back our country from these fascists and thugs, and we will absolutely make America great again. From the beginning, our America First agenda has been an existential threat to the rotten political class that gets rich and powerful at your expense, erasing our borders, cheating on elections, exporting our jobs, and squandering our blood and treasure
He's so fucking
on endless foreign wars. We were out of all our wars. Everybody said when I got elected, remember, oh, his personality, you're going to have wars. You're going to be fighting the whole world.
Really quickly here, I just want to interrupt, as you did hear the former president speaking about what he called election fraud there, that Trump and others have filed and lost dozens of lawsuits.
Yeah, Crypto.com is shutting its institutional exchange in the United States.
Vote certification process in state.
What the fuck is going on? Boo, dude. Stop silencing the motherfucking president, dog. What the fuck? Why are they giving disclaimers?
Lack of evidence.
Away to Afghanistan.
Cowards, though. This is censorship.
Afghanistan
dude.
is now one of the largest exporters of military arms. They sell the things that we gave to them. $85 billion. We lost 13 soldiers, many very horrifically wounded, and we left many Americans behind. They moved out the military first. No, it was supposed to be the opposite. You move out the military last. They've launched one hoax and witch hunt after another to try and stop our movement and thwart the will of the American people. Every time you have, not even believable. Witch hunt, scam, hoax. It's called election interference, and they're doing the best they can with it. Because who the hell would vote for them with the policies that they have of open borders and no voter ID? As the Durham report, which just came out, proved, they spied on my campaign. Think of it. Can you imagine if it was the other way around? They spied on my campaign and we caught them. They forged false evidence to get illegal surveillance warrants. The FBI offered $1 million for a fictitious dossier written by a foreign spy to try to frame me for treason. Now they're trying to do it again. These people don't stop, and they're bad, and we have to get rid of them. We have to get rid of them fast. They put our country through hell, and they knew it was all a lie the entire time. They knew it was a lie. Remember, it's not me they're going after. It's somebody else, and that person will not be able to withstand the fire. If it's not me, you know, it'll be somebody else. They're not going to withstand that fire, because that fire doesn't stop just with me. That fire is going to go on against any conservative, any Republican, anybody other than them, because they want the power, but they actually want to destroy our country. I believe that, because there could be no other reason. But I know them all, and they, in many cases, even admit it. They come up, they say, how do you take it? We take it and we fight back like nobody's ever fought before. Think of it. Think of it. We had Russia, right? Total fake. All came out now fake. It was all made up by Hillary Clinton. The dossier was by Clinton and others, Democratic Party, DNC. So we had Russia, Ukraine. The no collusion Mueller witch hunt.
Wait, why did he own Marjorie? He flubbed Marjorie? That's crazy. That's like... That's an ally, dude. And in her own state, that's crazy. When's the last time he talked about policy instead of himself? What do you mean? Trump has never talked about policy. All policy somehow ties back to him personally. I don't think this is a flub. I think this is more so... I don't know. I don't know if this is as big as a flub as you think it is. I don't know what you expect. Like, you want him to like fucking roll up to her and give her a little kiss? You know what I mean? I mean, she does look disappointed, but maybe I'm reading too much into it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Why didn't he dab her up?
They're crooked, they're corrupt. These criminals cannot be rewarded. They must be defeated. You have to defeat them. Have to defeat them. Because in the end, they're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I'm just standing in their way. Here I am. I'm standing in their way, and I
You
always
mean
will.
snub? Did I say flub? I meant snub. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The ridiculous and baseless indictment of me by the Biden administration's weaponized Department of Injustice will go down as among the most horrific abuses of power in the history of our country. Many people have said that. Democrats have even said it. This vicious persecution is a travesty of justice. You're watching Joe Biden. Joe, I think of it. Biden is trying to jail his leading political opponent, an opponent that's beating him by a lot in the polls, just like they do in Stalinist Russia or communist China. No different. Our country's gone very bad, and think of it, in 3 years. 3 years ago, we were energy independent, we had no inflation, we had low taxes, we had low interest rates, we had the greatest economy in history. Think of it. I could stand up here all day long and just talk about all of the great success we had. And now we have everything's the opposite. Inflation is
everything good turned into everything bad. It's really fucked up. He's right.
Ridiculous and ridiculously high. We're getting energy from Venezuela. Nobody can even believe it. I never thought such a thing could happen to America. As far as the joke of an indictment, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing for this country. I mean, the only good thing about it is it's driven my poll numbers way up. Can you believe this? Way up. Now it's driven up, way up, and somebody said the fundraising is through the roof. That's less important. But I will tell you, it's really driven us right through the sky. We're really winning big. We're winning by we're beating the hell out of the Republicans, and we're beating the hell out of Joe Biden. That's why they're doing it. If I wasn't, let me tell you, if I wasn't, there'd be no witch hunt. There'd be no indictment. If I was losing.
Why is he so boring now? Has he lost his riz? Yeah, dude. He went the way of fucking Liv Dunny or whatever, and he tried to riz up Baby Gronk. I'm sorry. That's the last time I will ever reference Baby Gronk or whatever the fuck that thing's name is. He has lost his riz. He definitely has lost his touch a little bit. He is peak when he's popping off on someone, okay? Trump is defined by his enemies, okay? He's defined by his enemies. And when he's on the defense, or even when he's attacking his enemies, okay, he comes across as like, he comes across as like funny on his feet because he's quick. And a lot of the people that he's going up against are institutionalists who love civility. So it looks funny when you like undress them in public for everyone to see. You know what I mean? Like when he turns around and he's just like, Marco Rubio, look at you. You're so wet. Look at the way you're drinking that water. You know, that kind of shit. It pops off. He's great on a debate stage. You know what I mean? And his rallies are like, oftentimes, I guess they're just, we've watched it so many times that his rallies are not that fun. I think that's part of what it is. Like, he doesn't have a tight five like he used to because his tight five has been used and abused so many fucking times. I mean, that's what it is. Like that's a big part of the problem here is that like he's just saying the same shit over and over again. That's why comedians refresh their bits. That's why comedians will basically package up perfectly refined material for an hour and then never use them again once their special comes out. Over the course of a year or many years, they will go to comedy shows all around the country and they will test out their best bits until they refine it and hone it so perfectly that they have the best 1 hour comedy special they can. Then they will release that comedy special, and then they'll work on new materials. Trump hasn't really done that. Like he has the classic shit that he says all the time. And right now, he's just using his old bits. Like everyone's heard it already. Everyone's heard it 1,000 times. Disagree with him being quick. He's never come up with insults on the fly. He thinks about them endlessly. They're boomer jokes he has either heard from others or rehearsed on his own head for a long time. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he is quick on his feet. You look at his responses and stuff to like random people when he goes around and he's like having candid conversations with like normal human beings, you know? He's affable, he's likable, he's sassy, he's catty, very good at reading a room. He can't stand very normal. He looks weird when he's like standing, but when he's talking, he is very good. He's quick with retorts. Like someone will come up and say something to him and be like, "Oh yeah, well, you know, I know the McDonald's menu better than all of you, perhaps better than anyone else, even you guys." Like that's funny. That's quick. He was the president and he's in East Palestine, Ohio at a fucking McDonald's telling the McDonald's workers he knows the menu by heart better than they do. You know what I mean? Like that shit is that is like that's TV, you know? That's good television. He knows, and he comes up with stuff like that on the fly. And it is certainly important to understand that, and important to understand Trump's showmanship, because Trump's showmanship is like one of his most valuable assets. Reading the room and showmanship for Donald Trump is profoundly valuable. That's what makes him likable by his base. That's what made him likable originally. Okay? That's why I say Trump, in many respects, is like Obama for white people. Because like Obama had that quick on the, the quick jabs as well. He was very charismatic as well, especially when he was campaigning. Like over the course of 8 years, he obviously kind of got dulled down, but Obama was a very charismatic person. He was also very likable. He was very funny. Like he had Riz as well. And he basically dropped the act halfway along the presidency, maybe in the first half of his first term, but he was a handsome, great orator. People liked him for that reason. Biden used to be a great retail politician as well. Not so much anymore. These are things that people care about. You muted the video, and I'm sure we didn't miss anything. Yeah, no, you did not miss shit.
When he went back into his...
And you will continue to not miss shit at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break, as long as you subscribe. You can do that for $5. You can do that for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster. Hopefully that's me. But yeah, here's a 3-minute ad break. Now, you can also get gifted a sub.
$1 a year, and there's still, he was paid by China, really, because China makes a big payment to the area where he has the vast preponderance of documents. And he makes about $1 million a year paid by China. And these documents were strewn all over the place. And then he has documents strewn on his garage floor where he has the now famous Corvette. You know where that's stored, his beautiful Corvette. There was no security there. They had a garage door that you could cut it with a scissor. They didn't have Secret Service. I have Secret Service all over Mar-a-Lago. And Mar-a-Lago's strong and powerful. It was actually built by Marjorie Merriweather Post and E.F. Hutton. Remember when
The
he
White
ever
House of the
speaks,
South.
people listen. Well,
He's going to say the
one
White
of the
House of the
greatest
South.
ads ever,
It was
but
built
they
as the White
it,
House of the
and
South.
It was built as the Southern White House, actually. And Jimmy Carter gave it up. He said it was too expensive to be borne by. And I said, thank you very much. We have to get that. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you very much. But that was actually built as the Southern White House. So it's very powerful. But we have great people, Secret Services all over the place, and that's the way we like it. But unlike me, who had absolute declassification authority as president, Biden didn't have any authority, and he had no right to possess those documents, none whatsoever. Yet nothing happened to Crooked Joe with all that many times what we have. And you know, there was an article recently that all presidents take documents out. They bring them out, all of them, virtually every one of them in fairly modern times. If you look at Hillary Clinton, set up an illegal private server in her basement specifically to break public disclosure laws, and that would expose her.
You have such a deep understanding of Trump. It's crazy. I want to understand the American psyche more than anything else, and what captures the attention of hogs. That's why.
Anthony Weiner, you remember him? Computer.
That's why I
Weiner,
try to comprehend what Trump does and does well.
But much of it went into Anthony Weiner's computer. That's probably the last. I'm not sure. I think I'd rather have it on Hunter Biden's computer than Anthony Weiner's computer. And when caught, Hillary deleted and acid washed 33,000 emails in defiance of a congressional subpoena. She already had the subpoena. And her aides smashed and destroyed iPhones with a hammer. Yet the FBI and DOJ protected her. They did absolutely nothing in Hillary's case. The FBI and DOJ largely did not issue subpoenas. They did not use a grand jury. They did not execute search warrants. And Comey declared that there was no problem. He said no reasonable prosecutor would ever bring a case like that. She knocked out 33,000 emails. And Hillary wasn't indicted. She should have been. But she wasn't indicted. She was protected by the Democrats. Biden was not indicted, and what he's done is terrible. You know, they like to say, well, what Trump did. I mean, actually, I was impressed. It looked so orderly and nice. Somehow somebody turned over.
The idea that Hillary wasn't indicted is not seen as an immediate L for Donald Trump is always gonna hurt my brain. I'll just say it like that.
They tried to pretend like I did.
Like, it should be recognized as a profoundly sizable L for Donald Trump. Like, it's a skill issue. Like, weaponize the DOJ against Hillary Clinton, then bitch.
Sorts of things. Nobody saw the documents there. Only Donald Trump is indicted, and they take one charge and they turn it into 36 charges. You saw that. Everybody was amazed. Lawyers on television, yes, they're not usually the best lawyers, but some are very good. They're saying we've never seen anything like it. They took one charge and they made it 36 different times. And we have a thug who's in charge. This is a political hit job. Republicans are treated far differently at the Justice Department than Democrats. These are the same people who caused the Lois Lerner catastrophe. That's this deranged Jack. You know who I'm talking about. Jack Smith. What do you think his name used to be? I don't know. Does anybody? Jack Smith. Sounds so innocent. He's deranged. But he's the one that caused the Lois Lerner catastrophe with the IRS, one of the worst things to happen in this country in many years, going after evangelicals and Christians and great Americans of faith.
This was awesome.
And
this was a big
Obama
era controversy.
And this is the same guy.
Obama came after the churches with the IRS.
And I watched him yesterday go up and talk. He talked for about 2.5 minutes. He was shaking. He was so scared. He didn't want to be there. Because ultimately, these are cowards. They're cowards. And he's a big Trump hater. Openly, he's a Trump hater. And his wife is even more of a Trump hater. I wish her a lot of luck, but he's a bad Trump hater, and she's a Trump hater. And you shouldn't put people like that in. And you know, the people looking at Biden, he's a very nice man. They looked at Mike Pence. He had classified documents, no problem. They looked at Biden. He has so many classified documents, they don't know what to do, and he's trying to prevent them from seeing it. That's obstruction.
Would you say yes to an opportunity
we
to meet
didn't do
Julian
any
Assange in
obstruction.
Belmarsh prison?
This is
Yeah.
a sick nest of people
I mean,
that needs to be cleaned out immediately.
I just would like I wouldn't travel to link up with him, but yeah, no, I would. I just do not understand how these motherfuckers, how Trump is able to convince them that like what he did is somehow not wrong, but simultaneously what Hillary Clinton did is more wrong, and he didn't prosecute her. He didn't weaponize the DOJ against her. I don't get it. You can't say what Biden did is wrong, but what I did wasn't. Okay? If what Biden did is wrong, what you did is extra wrong. Because Biden did not obstruct an active investigation into these documents that the government wanted back. Like, it's just...
Because in history, there's never been a president so corrupt. And thing after thing, Jamie Comer, Jim Jordan, the things that those committees are finding.
He just said Biden obstructed and his team did it. It's ironic because that's what he did. He's literally telling on himself. Biden did not do that.
5 million there, 2 million here.
Oh, there's going to be a massive Unabomber segment. Get your favorite Unabomber documentaries out. We will definitely do a lot of Unabomber reacts.
It's no coincidence they indicted me the very same day that it was revealed that the FBI hid explosive evidence that Joe Biden took a $5 million illegal bribe from Ukraine. Right now, we don't have any ammunition. Ukraine has our ammunition, all of it, just about. Think of it, I rebuilt our military. We had so much ammunition. We were stuffed to the gills, as the expression goes, with ammunition. And now we have very little ammunition to protect ourselves. And then you see that he's getting large amounts of money from Ukraine. And then you wonder, why are we doing this? And by the way, that war, I'd have it negotiated and end. It's a horrible thing. In 24 hours between Zelensky and Putin. 24 hours. Everyone says, oh, you don't mean that. No, I'd have that thing done in 24 hours. Right as they're closing on Hunter and Joe Biden, they're closing in right now. They say, let's do this. Let's go after Trump. That'll take a lot of the publicity away. We're too hot.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's what they did.
Definitely. Like, the Hunter Biden shit didn't work last time around. Okay? But somehow they're still very afraid of the Hunter Biden shit, apparently. Even though the Republicans have been, like, working around the clock on the Hunter Biden shit since they got a fraction of power in Congress. And even those Republicans themselves keep constantly saying, there's not really too much here that we can make like a bigger deal of. And it was so bad that like Marjorie Taylor Greene was the only person willing to literally leak the details in these FBI tip sheets, which are, by the way, anonymous tips that you can send to the FBI about Hunter Biden if you would like. Okay? Like literally, there's no... It's like the VAERS report, but for FBI tip sheets. And ultimately, with Hunter Biden, like, yeah, he does a lot of crack. He had sex with a lot of prostitutes, all that cool stuff. Okay. But beyond that sort of thing, he certainly got jobs that he should not have gotten by basically trafficking with the Biden name. Like, he should not have been getting jobs at Burisma. He should not be getting any fucking money from, like, you know, Chinese business owners and whatnot. Okay? So he did all of that stuff, except all of that stuff should be illegal, but unfortunately it's not. And because of that reason, the Republicans can't come up with anything different than that. So they have to, like, constantly keep tying it back to Joe Biden, but it's not working. So then it's better if people don't really fully have all the details of the Hunter Biden story, because you can just basically point to it and be like, yeah, it's really fucked up. They're so scared of releasing this. It's like, well, it turns out it's the Republicans that are more scared of releasing it because they find it to ultimately be a dud. You know?
Judges citing an apparent lack of evidence. He also spoke about the classified documents found at President Biden's home and his former office. There is an ongoing investigation at this point into those documents. As for the Hillary Clinton emails, an FBI investigation led Director James Comey to say that Clinton was, quote, extremely careless, but recommended that no charges be filed, saying Clinton did not act with criminal intent. Let's pop up the audio and listen in live, raw, and unfiltered.
Because you were leading in, was it every single poll? And leading by a lot. And the only question was whether or not you were going to get 50% or 49%. 50%, there'd be no runoff. 49%, there's a runoff. And not only didn't he get 50%, and the other person that you're running against, Brad, was very low in the polls. And those polls, and we have some of the pollsters here, by the way. They still can't believe it. But Jody ended up with a number. What was your final number, Jody? Yeah, around 37%. And the other gentleman got 51%, right? 51, no runoff. And then David Perdue was not losing by much. He was losing in the polls, but he wasn't losing by much. And on election day, he was wiped out. He lost by numbers that nobody ever thought possible. Very, very unfair. Look, we have to have honest elections. We just have to, or you don't have a country. You don't have a state. You don't have a country. You don't have anything. Remember, there was a so-called water main break that never happened. Remember the water main break? Think of that. The water main break. We got a break. Let's get in there. But that'll be coming up later as time goes by. Remember the tape? Then you have True the Vote. Found that Georgia was one of the most egregious states in the nation. Thousands and thousands and thousands of tapes showing a thing called good old-fashioned, right? Ballot stuffing. Good old-fashioned ballot stuffing. In Atlanta, people are afraid to walk to their local grocery store for a loaf of bread for fear of being assaulted or murdered. And yet, your local district attorney, Fani Willis, is spending all of her energy, all of her money, all of her time trying to get Trump. Let's get Trump. Yeah. You know,
yeah, Fanny should have been fucking working on this RICO instead of the fucking YSL shit, dude. I mean, honestly, what's more important? Fucking making sure that these like rappers are locked behind bars permanently, or the motherfucking RICO charge on the most open and shut case that Donald Trump has had thus far, with a phone call that everyone heard, okay? Literally everyone in the country, perhaps all around the planet, heard Donald Trump very specifically say, we need 11,473 votes. And like that shit is still sitting there.
They are contesting the process, vote counting and the vote certification process in states that do include Georgia. And nearly all of those lawsuits have been dismissed or dropped, with judges citing an apparent lack of evidence. Just want to make sure that we are mentioning that fact right there. Let's pop up the audio here and
cringe.
Let's see. It's about 3:29 on
cringe.
the East Coast, 12:29 on the West Coast.
Cringe live now with Fox. Fox Local, cringe. Cringe. Don't you dare disrespect our fucking president, dude. What? They also cut Marjorie Taylor Greene off? Oh my God, what is happening? That dude saying